Whoa, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on my channel. My name is Achillea. Welcome guys, welcome. Now, as some of you may know, we have been linked with quite a few players this transfer window, but nothing has happened yet. Maybe by some miracle, something will happen by the time this video uploads. But yeah, then that's being too hopeful, isn't it? What I'll be doing is a brand new series called #Tottenham Targets, and it's literally going to be a series of videos where I just select an individual player we've been targeted with, focus that video on that player, and then I want you guys to comment down below what you think about these players and whether you think they're going to be a good signing. Now, what a better way to start off this series than talking about the most probably talk about target that we've had, and let's not forget the #Lemar propaganda. We're going to get straight into the video with him. Hope you enjoy. Please do leave a like and subscribe on that button down below. Now let's get back into the video. Okay, so I'm going to start with the player's profile so you actually know who they are, because there might be some of you out there that have got no clue who he is. So here we go. His full name is Thomas Lemar. He currently plays for AS Monaco. He is 21 years old and is a French left winger who is also left-footed. Now, being 21 years old, that is probably perfect age for a transfer for us, because Poch is doing so well with these young players, and let's not forget he is French, and God knows the Spurs love French wingers. He just already seems to be just the right kind of player to go for, not like an old geezer who was a Chelsea legend and for some reason is now playing in the Championship. Anyway, back to the video. So as you guys all know, being Spurs fans, if you're a Spurs fan watching this, then we crave a left winger. Like, not even just a left winger, a winger in general. I mean, we have Son, but Lamella's been out injured for yonks, like actually ages, and he's still not expected to come back until October, so we desperately need him because Son does dip in form sometimes, and even like Eriksen dips in form as well, so another attacking midfielder is probably the kind of player that we need to get. And to be honest, with those four attackers, with Lemar, Son, Ali, Eriksen, and that is like excluding Lamella if he comes back fit and ready to play, that is a dangerous attacking four. Like, the three initially were already dangerous. Let's have a quick look at the formations and see where he would fit in the squad. So for the first option, I've gone with the 4-2-3-1, which we've done for most of the year. With the usual in defence, you've got Lloris in goal, you'll have Rose left back, Toby centre back, Jan centre back, Walker right back. Then you've got the two holding beasts in midfield, which are Dembele and Wanyama. Now, the three behind man like Harry Kane will be Lemar on the left, Ali in the middle, and Eriksen on the right. Now, I know, I'm missing out Son. But, like I said before with this front four, you can easily chop and change between all of them, which I think is great because that can confuse defences. A player doesn't need to be stuck to one side. They have like the freedom to move around. But I think he would fit perfect on the left-hand side considering he is left-footed, and hopefully can whip decent balls in, especially when Rose isn't playing that wing-back role. Then we get on to my favourite formation of the year, which I've loved the fact that we've been doing it all season, is the 3-4-3. So again, we have the usual Lloris in goal. I think it'll be Jan, Toby and Dyer as the three centre-back. Well, I think we should get another centre-back instead of Dyer there, but that's another story for another time. Then we have the pacey wing-backs of Rose and Walker, who can whip balls in all day long, and then standard Dembele, Wanyama beasts in the middle. This is where it kind of gets a bit tricky, because the way I've sorted it is we'd have Lemar on the left, Ali on the right, and then Kane up front as that three. Now, obviously that means Eriksen and Son have been left on the bench, but I kind of look at that in a good way, because then now if you look at that formation, we then have squad depth in attacking options. Okay, so now that we have the formations and stuff wrapped up, we're going to move on to a few statistics, because I know you guys want to hear how many goals he scored and all that, so we'll get onto that right now. If we just look at League 1 to start with, the French League 1, he has played for Monaco 34 times this previous season gone. Now, in those 34 games, he's managed to score 9 goals and get 11 assists, which from a winger isn't too bad. Like, I wouldn't complain with that. It's certainly close to what other players have been doing in our squad. He has played 2,611 minutes, which works out for his minutes per goal to be 290. Now, to be fair, in 34 games, that's pretty good stats, especially if we get him early on in the window. Then he can get those early goals in August, where we know Harry Kane seems to struggle a bit scoring, and he doesn't score until September. So we really need as many attacking options as possible going into the first 3 or 4 games into the season. Now, one thing that should excite everyone is that he actually has Champions League stats that we can look at. So for Monaco in the Champions League, the season just gone, he has played 12 times, got 2 goals and 5 assists. Not forget to mention that those 2 goals in the Champions League were against us. Here's my vlog of one of them. So yeah, he seems to rip our defence apart. You can take that as a good thing, because if he can score past our defence, then surely that will be good for training, right? If he can like makes the defenders better, because he'd be like, oh, I know how to get past you. And all of his assists seem to be coming in the latter stages of the tournament, so against like Dortmund and Man City, those kind of teams, which obviously is very key because we want that experience going forward into the Champions League next season. And if he can get goals and assists to people like Harry Kane, Ali, etc., whatever, then I think he can be a very key player to Spurs in this up and coming season. Now, here comes on to the interesting part. So we all know he is a left winger, so he would effectively either be replacing Son or effectively taking his position and Son plays somewhere else. So I thought what would be a good idea is to compare him to Son to really see which one would be better and if he's kind of worth buying. So first of all, they have both played 34 times in their respective leagues last season, but Son has got more goals. Son scored 14 times for Spurs in the league, but only got 9 assists. So Lemar has got more assists than him, but Son has got more goals. What's interesting to note is that Son has only played 2,066 minutes, which is pretty much 600 shorter than Lemar's. So he's managed to get more goals and nearly the same assists in the same amount of time. But at the moment, you would argue that Son is probably the better player for us. My only issue is that Son can be very inconsistent, and Lemar seems to be providing a good attacking force for Monaco during the league. Now if we look at Son's Champions League stats, which are 6 games, 1 goal and no assists. Thomas Lemar really does kind of trump him in the Champions League, and that is the kind of player we want, right? You want someone that can score and assist in the Champions League because we want to do well in that competition. We want to get it again next year, and to be in such a young Monaco side, I think he would transfer very well into a young Spurs side. Son did also score 6 goals in 5 FA Cup games, but we don't want to remember his FA Cup performance when he played left back against Chelsea. Hey, I said we don't want to remember that. Okay, just erase that from our memories. Go. Okay, so now the final thing I'm going to get onto is how much is he going to go for. One thing I've noticed is that he's a very similar kind of player and got very similar stats to Anthony Martial. Now, Martial moved for 36 million, rising to about 57 million. But just taking in the fact that it was 2 years ago that he moved for 36 million, they're potentially losing Mendy. There's a lot of players that might go, so they will be very reluctant to sell him for anything less, in my opinion, than 50 million. Given like the increase in prices in the market, the kind of player he is, and especially the fact that Arsenal have signed Lacazette for about 52 million, I think it was. Yeah, so that's why I can't see Monaco selling him for any less than 50 million. But to be honest, in this transfer window, I think that's worth it. Out of all the players we've been linked with, I would say he's the one that we're worth, like, it's worth to spend 50 million on. We do face competition from our fierce rivals. You know who I'm talking about. They've already had 2 bids rejected, so we really will have to step up the price, and I think roughly 50 million is what we're gonna need to get him at least. I just want to see us do this deal ASAP because we want the player in pre-season. We want him to get used to the squad. We have French players that he can talk to, like Nkudu, Sissoko, as long as they don't leave. I'm pretty sure some of the Belgian players speak French, so that shouldn't be a problem. And I think he would be a very, very good buy. Okay, so that about wraps it up for my video on Lemar. Everyone, comments, hashtag Lemar Propaganda. Go follow me on Twitter, hashtag Lemar Propaganda there. Also, follow me on Instagram and Snapchat because I will be posting a lot of stuff on there in the near future as soon as the season starts as well. Yep, comment, like, subscribe the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Boom! Scared you, didn't I? Alright, laters.